Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for the Astrology, Kabbalah, and Numerology of February 2023. We're going to start with the Numerology and the Kabbalah. And then, depending on time, I may do the astrology in a separate video. So I'll see how long it goes. Sometimes I don't know how long I'm going to talk, even though I know what I'm looking at and I know how many slides I have. So I don't have more slides than usual, but sometimes I can get chatty. So let's get started. And we're going to be looking at first the numbers. Here we go. Okay. So we're in February 2023. And we're going to look at the numbers. Now, I want to just make a comment about the picture here. This is February in the Northern Hemisphere is a time of midwinter. And midwinter is usually celebrated on February 2nd. And it's called Candlemas or Imbolc. In the Catholic religion, it is the St. Blaise's Day. In Ireland, it's the Feast of Bridget, the mother goddess and the goddess of the hearth fire. And this symbolizes the light that shines through the coldest, dreariest, perhaps, point of the wheel of the year. It is a remembrance and a reminder that we can start to see the growing light. Now, the light has been growing here in the Northern Hemisphere since winter solstice. Winter solstice is the shortest day and the darkest night, or the shortest day or the longest night. Not always the darkest. Sometimes there's a full moon, so it's not too dark, but generally considered the time when pagans would light fires and to call in the light, the return of the sun god, S-U-N. And of course, eventually the Catholics took it up with Jesus. Jesus is a solar deity. He is a deity of death and rebirth, like many of the solar deities. But I have a picture here of a little light. Reminding me of that little song that actually we never sang in Catholic school, but I know it was a big hit in Protestant or actually other Christian. I shouldn't say Protestant, I don't know, but other Christian religions. This little light of mine, right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I think that's kind of the energy that we need to think about when we're going through what's going on, both numerologically and astrologically. We will see this theme over and over again this month. So let's get started here. So as I said in my January Kabbalah video, we are in a 7-year, 2023 is a 7-year. And 7 seeks answers. It tries to establish a philosophy of life by which to live, to penetrate the mystery behind its existence, which it has never questioned to this point. So if you have a 7 in your chart, you question your existence all the time. As somebody who has a 7 in their chart, I can attest to that. But you know, not everybody is so aware of that. And so this is a year when people who are generally maybe not so inclined to penetrate the mysteries. Now, of course, very often it's because of what's going on. Like, why did that have to happen? Why can't we fix this? Why is this happening again? What are we, you know, and then the question from that is what are we here to learn about? What was the purpose of this, right? What is our purpose, and what is the purpose of this collective experience that we are going through? Now, I want to say that just in general, the rules of the game are changing at light speed, and the game is changing because we are more aware than ever how much influence, in a way, we can have as individuals when we sort of throw our hat in the ring of humanity. We also come to understand, and we will come to understand over the intervening years, the power of group consciousness, both the good side of that and the dark side of that. Because solitude is necessary for analysis, the seven feels the need to spend time alone, away from the crowds, and in touch with nature. So this is a wonderful year to do just that, to take the time, even if it's just a little time in the day, or maybe it's once a month, where you take time to shut everything down, go out in nature, meditate, take a hot bath, whatever it is that makes you relax, and look within. Now, looking within for some people can be really hard. So not everybody's going to be comfortable with this whole looking in thing. The seven looks for friendship with those of an elevated consciousness that can match its own. So what you'll also find this year is that we tend to resonate with the people that we are in vibrationally aligned with. And so you will see people in your life that are normally there, not there. You will see new people come in that you've never met before, but you feel an instant kinship to. This is the resonance. This is the vibrational stuff. And honestly, that's the wave of the future, finding people who resonate and have a level of understanding. Now, that doesn't mean that you just stay enclosed in the group and the level of understanding that you're in. That's not going to help anybody. That's not going to help the collective if we all sort of stay in our little bubbles. The challenge will be, how do we interconnect those bubbles, and how do we create a system that is amenable to so many different points of view, while trying perhaps not to control perhaps the uncontrollable. People who crave power will always find a way to utilize what's around for power. And so we need to be aware of who we are, and maybe who they are as well. Goals that have been long sought are now magically attained. So for those of us who have been slogging and putting the time and the energy into a dream that doesn't seem to manifest itself, this may be the very year that you see that manifestation. Keywords are quiet, introspective, intuitive, analytical, inspirational, reclusive, philosophical, and mystical. And this is from the Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Faith Gervain and Dusty Bunker, one of my favorite numerology books. Now, we're in a 7-year, but February 2023 is actually a 9 vibration, and we get that by adding the 2 vibration of the month with the 7 vibration of the universal year. 9 is selfless and compassion, encompassing love for all. It desires to apply the energy to its energy to universal service. It bestows the impersonal, but just view of life, one that is generous, benevolent, and patient. This is the artist and the thinker who has developed skills through the preceding cycles and is now ready to share their knowledge with the rest of the world. So you may feel inclined in February to both hide away and share your knowledge. Now, this particular vibration, the 9 vibration, is associated with the Hermit card in the tarot. And here we can see the Hermit with his staff and his lantern, holding it out in a rather bleak landscape. Actually goes pretty well with February here in the Northeast of the United States. Kind of looks like the Northeast of the United States. And he's holding his lantern, and that lantern is the light, and the creative hand. We have the path of the Hermit, which is known as, in the Kabbalah, the intelligence of will. And it is associated with the Hebrew letter Yod. And that's what we have right here, a Yod. In fact, the whole Hebrew alphabet is made up of a series of Yods. And so every letter in the Hebrew alphabet is this little flame. Hebrew, like Sanskrit, is a flame language. So it's very often considered to come directly from spirit. This particular Yod is the creative hand of God. This is the path of wisdom and of service to others. Now, if we come here to the tree of life, we can see that this is the path. This is the path of Virgo. So for those of you who are Virgos, this is a month for you. This is a month for you. If you have Pluto in Virgo, this is a month for you. Pluto was in Virgo from about 1956, the very end of 56, but mostly right at the end, like December, like right there. And it moved into Libra in 1971. So there's a range here. There's a range at the beginning and the end. You could be either in, at the end of it, you could either be in Libra or Virgo, or if you're at the beginning, you might be in Leo. You would have to look at your chart to know what generation you're in. But it is a Pluto in Virgo generation that I'm talking about. And the Pluto in Virgo generation comes into the life and sees everything that needs to be fixed. So sometimes the Pluto in Virgo generation can be a little bit critical. They can be have a tendency towards perfectionism. They can drive themselves, they can just drive themselves to exhaustion in trying to solve all the problems that they see. It's an analytical energy. It's also, it's analytical, it's mindful, because we're dealing with the sign of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, the planet of the mind, right? So it's mindful, but it's also earthly, so it's practical. So this is about looking at life in a very practical sense this month. What are you here to do? We have to remember that there's 7 here, that the universal year is about introspection, and 9 is also a very introspective energy. 9 tends to spend a lot of time helping people, and then the other, more often, they spend a little bit more time by themselves, because they need to recharge generally. But so we may actually see that happen as well in this month. But this is the path, the Virgo path, the path of Yod, the creative hand of God. And it connects the Sephiroth Tiphareth, which is the Sephiroth of the sun, with Hesed, the Sephiroth of Jupiter. So the sun, Jupiter are the 2 largest bodies in our solar system. So this combination and this path is very active and very expansive in a way. And so we have an opportunity to expand our healing and our healing journey, whether you are the healer or whether you are being healed. And of course, heal thyself. Most healers heal others in an attempt to heal and their own integrity, right? We have Jupiter this month in Aries. Jupiter is in Aries until I think May, when it moves into Taurus. It's not in Aries very long. Aries is the I am energy. So when Jupiter is in Aries, we can see an expansion, an expression of the I am energy. So people are telling you who they are at this time while Jupiter is in Aries, and we should believe them. Should believe them. And then in this month of February, the sun is in Aquarius, right? And then it moves into Pisces on the 18th. So we have part of the time the sun is in Aquarius, and part of the time the sun is in Pisces. While it's in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Aries, there's a little bit more of an exchange. It's more mentally stimulating because the energy or between Aries and Aquarius is the energy of the sextile. The sextile is an aspect that opens up. It's mentally stimulating. So we will find the beginning of the month more mentally stimulating. And then once the sun moves into Pisces, then we're dealing with two signs that are sort of right next to each other. And Pisces in general is a time when we are a little bit more introspective, and kind of out there, honestly, if you want to know. So we have the sun in Aquarius. The phrase for Aquarius is I know. You know, in Aquarius, I know. Yeah. And for Pisces is I believe. Jupiter in Aries is an expansion of the new, right? So these are some of the themes we will see this month. The 20th path, the intelligence of will. On this path, the hermit is the light in the darkness. So it is you, it is your soul, it is your heart and soul, it is your understanding, it is your unconditional love, 9, that will light the way for those who are in the dark. And there are a lot of people just waking up. And so just like, you know, it is when you just wake up, after the alarm clock goes off, a lot of times you're a little bit disoriented. So there's a lot of disorientation that we feel. And it's important for us to be whole within ourselves and aligned with our best nature so that we can be the light for those who are seeking some sort of direction. Now, there are going to be a lot of people out here. There's a lot of people who are saying a lot of things. Some of them are valid things and others are not quite so valid. And so, you know, discernment comes in. Well, the sign that's most associated with discernment is Virgo. So not only do we need to shine the light for those who are looking for the light, we also need to be very discerning. The hermit is the guide, but conveys the message that each one walks the path alone. So one of the lessons when you are a 9 or you have Virgo in your chart, or even the lesson for Virgo, is that really you can only fix yourself, honestly. And the more whole you are in yourself, the more aligned you are with your own spirit, that through resonance will attract other people. That's really what attracts. So at the bottom line is that the people that you attract are going to be most like you in this situation. So it's important to be true to yourself. And that comes in with the 7, right? Being true to yourself. The power of 9 is extraordinary wisdom. The answer lies within. Creation, preservation, and transformation are the 3 points with which define the divine circle of eternal movement. Creation, that is cardinality. We see creation in the cardinal signs. Preservation, those are the fixed signs. We have the nodes of the moon in fixed signs now. And so what's at stake is preservation of what? Life and limb, right? And then transformation, which is the mutable signs, of which Pisces is a mutable sign. Aquarius is a fixed sign. So we're moving through fixed mental energy into this month, then into watery emotional energy of Pisces. On this path, the love of goodness is awakened in the hero. And of course, this is the ninth path. I mean, this is the path associated with the number 9. Okay. Let's take a look at the chakras being activated this month through the Tree of Life. So the universal year vibration 7 activates the third eye via Bina and the throat, via Bina, and the throat via Gabura. So here we have Bina, and here we have Gabura. This is the path of the 7. This is the path of the chariot. Now, I want to just point something out, that the Tree of Life can be looked at this way, overlaying the chakras on it. But there's also 3 pillars. There's the middle pillar, or the pillar of transformation. There is the pillar of mercy here, and this is the pillar of severity. We are in a year that is completely in the year of severity, the pillar of severity. Well, what does that mean? Severity is, okay, so the Tree of Life, we have this side, the side of mercy, which is expansive. It's like expand, 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 expand. And then we have the side that's contractive, that pulls things in. And we need the balance of the expansion and the contraction in order for us to find the middle path, which is this middle path right here, which is the place of the present moment. So this is the past. So when we're on these lines, especially when we're in a 5-year or we're in a 10-1 year, this is the past. This is about the past. Something from the past comes in, past life issues, issues that you have with the past that you need to take care of. And then there are the times when we're down the middle of the pillar here. And on those years, that's about being in the present moment. That's all you can do. You can only be present. Generally, a lot of crisis in those years, okay? Those would be years that vibrate to a 21, or vibrate to a 14, or vibrate to a 2. Now, the only time we had a year vibrate to a 2 recently, of course, was 2000. Once we moved into 2001, we were never going to get to that 2 again. So 2000 was an important time, actually, for those of us who were here to see it. Some people were born after, that's what I mean. Okay. So because we're in the pillar of the future, we are creating the future in the moment. Which we always do, but the difference, because we do create the future by how we react and respond in the moment, right? But the thing with this is, when you're in the pillar of the future, you really can't plan but 3 months ahead. So don't be worried that you don't have the big plan or the big picture, because things are changing so quickly. And we have to be light on our feet. We have to, plan your life in 3-month increments, I would say. And that's true of the whole year, okay? February 2023, the vibration activates the throat via Hesed and the heart chakra via Tiphereth. So we're looking at Hesed here, which is associated with the throat chakra. We are looking at Tiphereth here, which is associated with the heart chakra. And then this is the path. This is the path of the hermit. The hand, right? The yod, the creative hand of God. And so the chakras activated by the 7-year, right, is the third eye and the throat. So what you see, what you say, okay? And via February, specifically for February, is this path. And what that brings in is it brings in the heart. It brings in the heart chakra. So we have the throat chakra activated, sort of doubly activated with this. And so we need to be really careful about what we say, because we create through the vibrations that come out of our mouth into our heads, out of our mouth, and that's creation. So we have Anja. This is the third eye chakra. Anja means to perceive or command. The element associated with Anja is light. Light. So this is, ye are the light of the world. This is the whole like seeing with one eye kind of idea that you can read in the Bible. It is our ability to see patterns. It is our ability to see the connections. If you have a shadow vibration in the third eye, you don't see connections. It's hard for you to bring things together. Until you release the shadow and release the light that's within the shadow, and then you see everything, right? Then the light gets turned on. So we have the third eye here. When we have the throat chakra, the throat chakra is Vishuddha, which means purification. And the element here is sound, vibration, right? This is why it's so very important to only say things that you want to bring into your existence. Like you don't want to spend a lot of time talking about things that aren't going to bring you a sense of peace. We're in a 7-year, okay? The throat chakra is the place of divine will. And so it is where we co-create with spirit through vibration. So singing, it's a good time to sing, to tone, to do that, to open your throat, Maybe wear like a scarf, a blue scarf, right? Sky blue is a good color for around your throat, or wear something that has blue in it. There are crystals that you could wear. I'm thinking around the throat, there's some crystals I like for the throat chakra: blue lace agate, turquoise, any sort of blue stone, but there are other stones as well. And I guess it depends on what you want your voice to do. What you is your voice a voice that gets down to the nitty gritty with people, that you give them the reality check that they need to see in order for them to move forward? Or is your voice inspirational? Or is your voice, does it calm them with your singing or even your speaking? Some people are easy to listen to and others are not. And so we become aware of that perhaps more. And then we have Anahata, which is the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the place where the higher chakras and the lower chakras combine. We see a six-pointed star here. We have a symbol of fire and air and the symbol of earth and water. This is the male symbol. This is the female symbol, and it comes together as we raise up the lower self, and the higher self comes to the heart chakra. And this is what makes us human. This is the human condition. The human condition is a condition of heart. And so when you are saying things and doing things, how does it make your heart feel? When you hear about these tragedies, or you hear about people suffering, how does that make your heart feel? Do you close down your heart because it's too overwhelming? I suggest we open our hearts to that, so that if we can all open to it together, to the compassion and the love within, we're going to create miracles. And the thing is this year is a year of miracles. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to do the astrology separately. So that'll be the next part of the monthly videos. So hopefully this was helpful to you and give you a little bit more view into the Kabbalah and how to use it. If you're interested in learning about the Kabbalah and learning my system, I am going to be having a beginner's Kabbalah class. I've done this before. This is sort of part one. It's a 6-week course, and it's going to start in March. I don't have a date yet, but you can go on my website. I should definitely have it up by February. I believe this class is going to be in March. It's 6 weeks, and it usually is run on consecutive whatever days. I usually do my classes in the evening, but I can also do them on the weekends as well. I just haven't made the decision as to when I'm going to do that. But if you're interested in that, if you're interested in this and you find this intriguing, you may want to take that class with me. So I will leave a link below so you can find it on my website. All right. Have yourself a wonderful month, and I will be back for the astrology of the upcoming month. Namaste, everyone.